Okay, so I'm looking at the assignment 4.2, and I'm down at the learning assessment. Number one, I want you to understand this is a color mixing activity using red, yellow, and blue only. If you use other colors, the activity is pointless and no points will be awarded. So I want you to open Sketches School, and you're going to select watercolor. If you look right here, when you add a new page in Sketches School, you will tap on the gear to select the watercolor paper, okay? So once you do that, you'll select watercolor and then check. All right, so let's go to, well, let me read through this first and then we'll go to Sketches School. All right, so when you get in Sketches School, you're going to be using the watercolor tool, 7th down, and using only the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And then we're going to mix to create the color wheel. So when you look at the color wheel, everything's in a triangle. So you have blue here, yellow here, red here. Okay, those are going to be your starting points. And you notice that it's all connected by the outline of this triangle. So when I went to Sketches School, I started with my red, my yellow, and my blue, okay? And then I create orange, which is in between red and blue, and I create green, which is in between blue and yellow, and I create purple, which is in between blue and red, okay? So those are called secondary colors. So you have orange, green, and purple. When I go to mix my tertiary colors or intermediate colors, they are in between the primary and the secondary. So you have yellow, you have orange, and you create yellow-orange. You have red, and you have orange, and that creates red-orange. You always say the primary first. And then in between red and purple, you have red-purple. Or you can say red-violet. In between blue and purple, you have blue-purple or blue-violet. And then in between blue and green, you have blue-green. And then the last tertiary color or intermediate is in between yellow and green. So you have a green-yellow. I'm sorry, a yellow-green. Wow. Okay. So then I just went ahead and used my ruler and made black lines and triangles. So I have my triangle that connects the primaries, and then I have my dotted triangle that connects the secondaries. And then the last step is to go in and label each of your colors. So just you go back to a writing tool and use, write the names of the colors on there, okay? Pretty simple. All right, let's go to Sketches School and I'll show you how to get the paper up. All right, so we're in Sketches School. I'll just tap one of my folders here. I'm gonna go to tap on the gear. Okay, it's on no grain right now. I need to tap watercolor. Okay, and then the check mark down at the bottom. That brings up my watercolor paper. Now I need to find the 7th tool on the side. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There is my watercolor brush. My colors are on this side, down in the bottom right corner. So I don't want you picking all these colors. You're only going to use red, which is already check marked, yellow. Okay, so now yellow is check marked, and then blue. Okay, so let's start with red. And this is our watercolor tool. And I'm only going to do the primaries in the video here, I think. All right, so I'm on red, and I just take my brush and I made one layer. So it's very light, it's a watercolor. So I want to do a few layers until I like the red I got. This is 3 layers, that's pretty good. Okay, it does not need to be perfect. It is just a sample of color theory using the color wheel. So then go back to your colors. You may now use yellow. And we're making it in a triangle, leaving space for your other colors on the color wheel. So there's 3 layers of yellow. And then I'll go back to blue. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right, now in between each of these is your secondary colors. So I'm still using just red and, I'm just using the primaries to make everything, okay? Since I'm already on blue, I'm going to switch back to yellow because I want to use the, there's an undo button if you mess up. I'm going to switch back to yellow and start with yellow. So yellow is in between, to make a secondary, in between red and yellow, we are going to make orange. So 1 layer, 2, 3. And then I also use yellow between yellow and the blue. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I got 3 layers there. And then I'll go back to red and I'll make my orange. So add 1. And if you're happy with that, with 1 layer on top of, since red is darker than yellow, I only have 1 layer on right now, and I kind of like the color of orange there. But it's almost a little bit yellowy, so I'm going to do a second layer. There, that's a nice orange. So I did 3 of yellow and 2 of red. And then I also need red between the blue and the red and the blue, which is going to make purple. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I got 3 layers of red there. I like that. So it's just what you approve, how many layers you want to do to make the color. And again, if you mess up, you can go to your undo, and you can also redo and put it back. All right, and then I'm going to move to blue now because I need to add blue to my yellow to make green. So let's do 1, 2. And yeah, I like 3 layers. So 3 layers of blue on there. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 on to create purple. All right, and then you make your tertiary colors. And those are all the colors that are in between each of the secondaries and the primaries. And you always say the primaries first. So since we're on blue, you have to recreate the purple as you work, okay? So blue and red. Actually, I would rather start with red. So let's go back to red. Oh my. Oh. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a smaller circle out here, and I'm going to add layers of red. And then I'm going to make it purple, so I had to add layers of blue. And now I want it to be more blue and purple together. So now I'm going to add some more blue to it. So now we have the color in between blue and purple, or blue and violet. It's easier to say blue violet, here to make the color, the tertiary color. So you would go back and do the same in between the red. I'll get my red going. Probably 4 layers here. And then I'm going to add blue there to make it purple, and then add more red to it. So 1, 2, 3, and then go back to red and add 1 or 2. So now I have red, violet, so I have red, I have violet, I don't want to undo that. Oh. Okay. So violet or purple. And then in between here is red. Red, violet, there, violet here, and then I have blue, violet here. Blue. And you can use the ruler, connect all this stuff. All right, I'm going to stop right there and